In a world cluttered with information, where truth is power, Lawin Weekly News stands apart.
We delve deeper, uncover facts, and bring stories to light. From political showdowns and economic triumphs to the pulse of the street and the heart of the community.
We capture the moments that define us, stories that challenge, inspire, and transform.
Tune in live Sundays 8 a.m. Central Standard Time and Sundays 6 p.m. Central Standard Time.
These are Lawin headlines for this week. Texas AG backs ivermectin doctor challenging Texas Medical Board. Survey reveals 80% of Houstonians fear living costs outpace income. Donald Trump pardons 5 ex-National Football League players for crimes including drugs trafficking. Spread love, not fake news, Palace press officer's message to VP Sara Duterte. PACC Texas Foundation leads school supply drive for Tucal Masiram students. Philippine Consulate General to hold outreach mission in Jackson, Mississippi. Catriona Gray opens up, Sam Milby wasn't ready amid engagement.
Good day, I am Neska, and tonight we bring you the latest stories in the United States of America, especially in the state of Texas. So sit back, relax, and let Lawin Weekly News be your guide to the news that matters most. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton has intervened in a lawsuit involving Houston physician Mary Talley Bowden, who was reprimanded by the Texas Medical Board for attempting to treat a COVID-19 patient with ivermectin at a hospital where she did not have privileges. Paxton filed a petition after Bowden sued to overturn the reprimand issued in October and finalized in December. In a statement, Paxton said the move aims to protect Bowden's constitutional rights and prevent administrative agencies from overstepping their authority. He also alleged the board acted without consulting medical expert testimony. Bowden welcomed Paxton's support and said she hopes the case will be resolved. Political analysts note that announcement comes as Paxton challenges incumbent U.S. Senator John Cornyn in the Republican primary. Bowden was previously suspended by Houston Methodist Hospital in 2021 for spreading misinformation about COVID-19. That same year, she prescribed ivermectin to a hospitalized patient. A court initially ordered the hospital to grant her privileges, but an appeals court later directed the facility to allow her to apply instead. The patient died in April 2023, and the medical board maintains Bowden knew she lacked privileges and raised concerns she could attempt treatment at facilities where she is not credentialed. Animal shelters in the Houston area are preparing to access millions of dollars in state funding aimed at expanding spay and neuter programs for dogs and cats. The Texas Department of State Health Services launched the spay and neuter pilot program on September 1st last year, allocating $13 million over the next 2 fiscal years. Grants ranging from $50,000 to $500,000 per year will be available to municipal and county shelters, private animal shelters, nonprofits, rescue groups, and veterinary clinics statewide. Jaime Olin, interim executive director of the Texas Humane Legislation Network, said the funding is expected to benefit both residents and animals. Dr. Tony Malone, chief clinical veterinarian at the Houston Humane Society, emphasized the need for affordable sterilization services, noting that the procedure can help pets live longer and reduce the spread of disease while addressing the region's stray animal population. The Houston Humane Society currently offers free services during select events, including fixed Felix and Spay Day, where up to 1,000 cats have been treated in a single day. Gloria Zentano, founder of the nonprofit Barrio Dogs, said financial support for these programs has become harder to obtain in recent years. Houston officials are moving forward with a proposed ordinance targeting unsafe and unsanitary apartment complexes, with final city council action expected by late April. The measure would create a registry of high-risk rental buildings identified through repeated health and safety violations. City Council members Tiffany Thomas and Martha Castex-Tatum will lead community meetings in Aliff and North Side to gather feedback from tenants, property owners, and operators before the ordinance advances to housing and economic development committees. Officials say the sessions are intended to hear concerns from residents while also highlighting best practices from compliant property managers. Thomas noted that the main framework of the proposal, including how buildings are added to the high-risk registry, is unlikely to change, with public engagement serving as a final step. The ordinance was delayed twice last year following opposition from the Houston Apartment Association and calls for more public input. Mayor John Whitmire described the engagement process as a deliberate approach to crafting an effective policy. A new survey from the University of Houston shows that nearly 80% of Houstonians are concerned wages are not keeping pace with the cost of living, making it one of the city's leading economic issues. The study by the Hobby School of Public Affairs compared economic perceptions among residents in Houston and Chicago. In Houston, 78% of respondents ranked wages lagging behind expenses among their top 3 concerns, while 1 in 3 identified it as their biggest challenge. Other frequently cited issues included rising living costs, inequality, job availability, and gaps in education and skills. Researchers say affordability remains a central concern in both cities. Houston's median household income stands at about $62,894, compared to $75,134 in Chicago. Though Houston's cost of living is slightly below the national average. Researchers say the findings highlight ongoing financial pressures for many Houston households.
In a world filled with fleeting moments, there's beauty waiting to be captured. My name is Christian, and I specialize in immortalizing your most precious memories, from elegant weddings to vibrant events and timeless portraits. I am here to make every moment unforgettable. Let me tell your story through the lens. Contact me today and let's create magic together.
Journey to self-discovery and mastery. Be bold, why not? Season 6 with MJ Concepcion every Monday 8 p.m. CST. Don't miss out.
Where every conversation is welcome at the table. This is Pink Table Talk with Dr. Carly D. Every Wednesday 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Rice, spice, and everything nice. Welcome to the Philippine food scene with Adobo Queen, Nancy Reyes Lumen of Commissary Kitchen. Every Thursday 8 p.m. CST, Friday 9 a.m. Philippine time.
The Travis County Medical Examiner has ruled that Brianna Aguilera died by suicide, a determination that clears the way for Austin police to close their investigation. Aguilera fell from a 17-story balcony in the West Campus area late last year. 3 law enforcement sources confirmed the ruling to a senior reporter. Authorities say the medical examiner's decision was based on information gathered by Austin police, along with findings from an independent review. A full report is expected to be released. Aguilera's death had drawn significant public attention and prompted speculation about possible foul play. Her family retained Houston attorney Tony Busby, who has previously criticized the police investigation as inadequate. With the medical examiner's findings now finalized, officials indicate the case is nearing its conclusion, pending the release of a complete report. In the summer of 2022, Dallas artist Antonio Lechuga was gaining recognition with his first solo gallery show, Fences, which featured towering lattice sculptures wrapped in cobijas, traditional thick blankets common in Latino households. But days before the exhibition closed, his life changed when he was shot while running on the Santa Fe Trail near his studio. 2 bullets struck his abdomen, damaging multiple organs and later leading to kidney disease, forcing him to carefully manage his health. Following the shooting, Lechuga began rebuilding his life from the ground up. He had already begun exploring three-dimensional sculpture after contracting COVID-19 in 2020, using his fence installations wrapped in blankets as a symbol of warmth and belonging rather than barriers. His work includes a piece portraying the trail where he was shot, a cord by the Dallas Museum of Art, and a 92-foot tapestry honoring families affected by mass gun violence in 2022. 3.5 years later, he has returned to running the trail with his dog, Chunkless, and plans to run a half or full marathon. The San Antonio Zoo has announced the most popular names submitted so far in its annual Cry Me a Cockroach fundraiser, a Valentine's Day themed event that allows participants to name a cockroach, rat, or vegetable after an ex-partner or not so special someone. The item is then fed to one of the zoo's animals. Leading the list this year are the names Justin, John, Brad, Brian, and Luke, with Justin currently topping the leaderboard. Zoo officials say the lighthearted campaign helps transform heartbreak into support for animal care and wildlife conservation efforts. The feedings are scheduled to be streamed on the zoo's social media platforms on Valentine's Day, offering the public a chance to watch the event live. A newly released set of records related to Jeffrey Epstein states that a 1-minute gap in surveillance footage from the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Manhattan was caused by a routine digital recording process, not manual deletion or tampering. The documents, part of a broader patch made public in recent days, include internal memos, technical logs, and incident reports detailing how security systems operated in the special housing unit where Epstein was held. Officials say the records also outline how video evidence was preserved following his death in August 2019. The missing segment appears near midnight in footage from a camera positioned close to Epstein's cell. However, the newly disclosed material indicates the gap occurred when the facility's digital system automatically transitioned between files, briefly ending on one recording before starting another.
Join us for a captivating new series where Lawin sits down with the trailblazers of the music and entertainment world. Discover the stories behind the faces and voices that shape our culture and community.
We will bring you exclusive interviews with industry legends and rising stars. Behind the scenes insights and get a peek into the creative processes and personal journeys. Artists and performers and their upcoming shows and events.
Stay tuned for more updates and sneak peeks. Follow us on social media and subscribe to our channel.
President Donald Trump has issued pardons to 5 former National Football League players convicted of federal crimes, including drug trafficking and perjury. One of the pardons was granted posthumously, clearing a federal conviction after the individual's death. The clemency actions were part of a broader round of executive pardons announced by the White House. Officials said the decisions followed the established presidential clemency process and reflected the president's constitutional authority to forgive federal offenses. The cases involved players who served in various roles during their professional football careers. One was convicted of perjury for providing false testimony during a federal investigation, while others faced charges related to conspiracy, trafficking, and possession with intent to distribute controlled substances. Palace press officer Claire Castro sent an early Valentine's Day message to Vice President Sara Duterte on Friday, urging her to focus on spreading love rather than fake news or immorality, and warning her not to act like Chucky. Castro made the remarks during a press briefing in response to Duterte's Valentine's Day message from Davao City, in which the vice president had jokingly suggested that Castro and President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. should end up together. Castro described Duterte's tone as mean-spirited and immoral, saying her laughter came across as having a hint of malice. She emphasized that both she and Marcos are committed to their families and criticized Duterte for making degrading remarks, suggesting that every word from the vice president amounted to attacks, insinuations, and immorality. Castro also indicated that Duterte's team could help improve her communications. The Chucky reference stemmed from a live stream on Castro's YouTube channel last Christmas, where she had compared Duterte's sudden facial expression upon hearing Marcos' name to the infamous horror movie character. India is weighing age-based restrictions on social media, with state governments and members of parliament considering potential bans for users under 16. The debate has gained urgency after Australia passed a law last December requiring platforms to block minors from creating accounts, and several European countries, including France, the UK, Austria, Poland, Denmark, and Greece, are exploring similar measures. India's economic survey has highlighted the risks of social media addiction, linking it to anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, and cyberbullying, particularly among users aged 15 to 24. Reports of 3 recent suicides in Ghaziabad, potentially connected to online content, have further fueled discussions. A private member's bill in Andhra Pradesh seeks to compel platforms like Instagram, YouTube, and Snapchat to block under 16 accounts, with penalties for non-compliance. Experts, however, caution that enforcement would be difficult given India's large and diverse digital landscape. With over 950 million internet users, 1.16 billion mobile connections, and a 43% VPN adoption rate, allowing teens to bypass restrictions. Digital rights advocates suggest alternative measures, such as regulating addictive platform features, restricting child profiling, funding research, and empowering independent regulators. Teenagers interviewed also expressed skepticism, noting that social media is central to daily life and any ban could be easily circumvented. The Philippine American Chamber of Commerce Texas Foundation, in partnership with BCCI Charity Mission, conducted a school supply distribution for students at Tucal Maisuram Integrated School on Feb 10 this year. The initiative aimed to provide learners with essential materials to support their education. The program, led by Michelle de la Peña Labro, was carried out in coordination with the Caramoran Municipal Police Station and the Revitalized Police sa Barangay or RPSP Maisuram, fostering collaboration among police, teachers, parents, and the local community. Local officials, including Punong Barangay Judith Abainza, expressed appreciation for the foundation's continued dedication and support for students. The Philippine Consulate General in Houston announced it will hold a consular outreach mission in Jackson, Mississippi on March 28th to 29th this year, providing essential services to Filipinos and Filipino Americans in the area. The mission will offer passport processing, dual citizenship applications, notarization, and civil registration. The exact venue will be announced at a later date. Filipinos wishing to access consular services are encouraged to register in advance via the QR code in the advisory or through the online form provided. For inquiries, the public may email houstonpcg.outreach@gmail.com, and the outreach reflects the Philippine Consulate's ongoing commitment to serving overseas Filipinos and ensuring accessible consular services across the United States.
Filing taxes, dealing with tax debt, or facing IRS actions is stressful, but you don't have to go it alone. Call 832-674-0829 or visit www.taxresolutionesq.com.
For divorce and family law in Texas, Liggett Dizon Law Firm PC will guide you every step of the way.
From initial consultation to detailed review of your case and strategic planning,
We'll sit with you during negotiations or mediations, and represent you in court.
whether it is a family law, estate planning, or immigration, we will be there to guide through the final steps.
So, leave your legal matters behind you and embrace your future.
You can contact Liggett Dizon Law Firm PC at 346-5454-346 or visit dizonlawfirm.com.
The NBA has issued fines to the Utah Jazz and Indiana Pacers for actions deemed detrimental to competition, targeting teams suspected of tanking to improve draft positioning. The Jazz were fined $500,000 for games against the Orlando Magic on Feb 7th and the Miami Heat on Feb 9th, when star players Lauri Markkanen and Jaren Jackson Jr. were removed before the fourth quarter despite being able to play, leaving the outcomes uncertain. The Pacers received a $100,000 fine for violating the league's player participation policy during a February 3 game against the Jazz. An NBA review, including an independent physician's assessment, determined that Pascal Siakam and two other starters could have played under league medical standards or been rested in other games to maintain compliance. At the time of the Miami game, the Jazz were 13th in the Western Conference and 8 games out of the play-in, yet key players were benched despite leading by 3 points and controlling the paint. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver said the league will respond to behavior that prioritizes draft position over winning, and noted that the competition committee and board of directors are considering additional measures to prevent similar conduct. Gilas Pilipinas coach Tim Cohen said it is too early to assess the impact of Kai Sota's potential absence as the national team prepares for home games against New Zealand and Australia in the FIBA World Cup qualifiers later this month. Reports suggest Soto may sit out the upcoming window after recently returning from an ACL injury and suffering an ankle sprain in his first game back. He last played for Gilas in 2024 during the FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers and missed the 2025 campaign while recovering from the injury sustained with Japan's Koshigaya Alphas in the B League. Cohen noted that while the team performs better with Soto available, Gilas is prepared for any scenario and emphasized that he is not rushing the player's return. The Philippines will host New Zealand on February 26th before facing Australia on March 1st at the Mall of Asia Arena. U.S. actor James Van Der Beek, best known for his role in the television series Dawson's Creek, has died at age 48 following a battle with colorectal cancer. His passing was announced on his Instagram page, noting that he faced his final days with courage, faith, and grace. Van der Beek had revealed his cancer diagnosis in 2024 and is survived by his wife Kimberly and 6 children. He rose to fame portraying Dawson Leary in Dawson's Creek, which aired from 1998 to 2003 and followed the lives of a group of friends in a small Massachusetts town. Van der Beek also appeared in films including Varsity Blues and The Rules of Attraction. Catriona Gray has spoken publicly for the first time about her ended engagement with actor Sam Milby, describing how she was deeply hurt when he realized he was not ready for the level of commitment they had planned. In a vlog interview with broadcast journalist Karen Davila, initially aired on YouTube February 12th, Gray recounted their 4-year relationship and the moment she learned Milby, who had previously proposed, could not move the relationship forward. Gray described ending the engagement as one of the hardest decisions she has made, emphasizing her desire for a mutually committed partnership and her aspiration to have a family. She said therapy over the past 2 years helped her process the heartbreak, reconnect with herself, and strengthen their relationships with close friends. Despite the experience, Gray said she remains optimistic about love and revealed she is now dating a non-showbiz partner, whose identity she has kept private. She encouraged others not to let past heartbreak redefine their view of love. As we brace ourselves for the upcoming weather changes, let's dive into what you can expect day by day. Whether you're planning outdoor activities or just preparing for the week, we've got you covered with the most accurate forecast. Stay tuned with us as we take a closer look at the weather patterns that will impact our region. Remember, here at Lawin Weekly News, we bring you the clearest skies to the stormiest forecasts.
Here is your Lawin Weekly News weather forecast in Houston, Texas. On February 15th, Sunday, the highest temperature is 63 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 45 degrees Fahrenheit, partly cloudy throughout the day. On February 16th, Monday, the temperature reaches 66 degrees Fahrenheit and falls to 48 degrees Fahrenheit at night, mostly sunny skies in the afternoon. On February 17th, Tuesday, the high is 70 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 52 degrees Fahrenheit, sunny and mild conditions. On February 18th, Wednesday, the temperature peaks at 72 degrees Fahrenheit and dips to 55 degrees Fahrenheit overnight, partly cloudy with periods of sunshine. On February 19th, Thursday, the high reaches 74 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 58 degrees Fahrenheit, mostly sunny and warm. On February 20th, Friday, the temperature rises to 76 degrees Fahrenheit and drops to 60 degrees Fahrenheit at night, partly cloudy with increasing humidity. On February 21st, Saturday, the high is 73 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 57 degrees Fahrenheit, scattered rain showers developing later in the day.
So those were the latest stories in Texas this week. I am Nesca Santina from Lawin Media Network. Have a great day.
Lawin Weekly News.
Tune in live Sundays 8 a.m. Central Standard Time and Sundays 6 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Lawin Weekly News.